Hey there, everybody. Good evening and welcome to this live. This is Nabaz Modi Singhania of the Body Art Fitness Centers. And wow, pleased to see so many of you already coming in. Good evening and let's have a great one. Today we've got a super interesting guest with us on what I consider to be virtually the most important topic of all, which is what? Which is that none of it matters if you're not truly entirely happy in your own head. So we have a very interesting lady, Shilpa Singh. And Shilpa is a mindset and a life coach on happiness, right? We see so many people doing so many things out there, and these days we see them that much more on social media, putting up such a show of being so happy and putting on such an act, and it's very transparent for a half-intelligent person to figure out. And it just makes me wonder, is this a life worth living? And the answer is invariably no. So the connection really between happiness, one's own mindset, and what we do at Body Art is huge, because at Body Art we're always looking at holistic fitness, holistic wellness. Your mind is the mothership, is the motherboard of your human computer. And if that is all out of whack, nothing else really matters. I'd like to firstly bring in Shilpa right away. Before any further ado, okay, let's see what's up there. All right. Here she is, lovely. So while Shilpa comes in, it's not going to be long. I just want to quickly tell you that the environment that we're all in right now is no surprise, right? We've been suffering it for a long time. And why am I not able to get Shilpa in? Okay, another request. Yeah. The environment that we're all in. Hey, Shilpa.
Hi, so good to see you, Navas.
You too. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I was just telling our audience, and we have a large audience that's very excited about what you're doing and the information you have to impart to us today. So I was just saying that it's not just about happiness. I mean, happiness is something we've all sought for a long time, and you know, it's been an up and down situation, but it's much more challenging in these days and times, for the simple reason that we are in pandemic times for a long time now, 15, 16 months. What was thought initially to end in a short span of time has gone on for an eternity. And what seemed to be perhaps a pandemic is now clearly more of an endemic. People have lost jobs, have lost lives, have lost confidence, have lost their people, have lost home, finance. There's anger, there's bitterness, there's frustration, and there are all sorts of negative behavioral patterns coming out towards other people, towards ourselves, addictions, leaning on alcoholism, drugs, small houses, no oxygen, and all sorts of way downs that really get to us, and therefore what you have to say to us in this environment becomes that much more important. even those of us who have, and I can say I'm very much one of them, have a very happy, positive mindset, even in difficult situations. Not that everything's always smooth sailing. Everyone's life has roses, and every rose has thorns, right? So even somebody like me and many others who are actually very grounded, very solid, happy, have a good sense of self-worth and esteem, and have a great mental frame, even they are struggling in these pandemic times to kind of recalibrate themselves and re-find their happiness and fight negativity, depression, etc., etc. So would you like to please share with us a few tips, a few secrets, a few good habits, whatever you might call them, to not only finding, but for many of us also rediscovering and recalibrating the sense of being truly, genuinely happy, not the fake Facebook shot. So yes, over to you.
Thank you so much. I know, very relevant topic and important question you have asked. Thank you so much. For your audience, I'll just introduce myself, that I'm Shilpa Singh. I am a life transformation coach, and I help people manifest their dream life, to live the best life they can. And yes, so what question you are asking is my day-to-day work that I do, and I help people live a happy life. So yes, this pandemic has been tough on many people, especially on people who've lost their jobs and who are suffering, and a lot of negativity has come in, depression, sadness, everything. Even when people are positive, who had high self-worth, are also actually this time tested them. So what can be done is the question, like how we can deal with this. Number one, it's all about the state of mind. Number one, and you have to decide. Life always gives you choices. You always have two choices: one, to be in this state of being sadness, depression and all, or one is to change your state and choose happiness. Now the thing is, the choice you have to make. You will always be offered two choices. Now the choice that I make defines my world around me. How I deal with being happy in this time is, there are two type of people that we found in pandemic. One, even after a lot of negativity around, a lot of bad situations around, they decided that they will fight it and they will find solutions to their problem. And there were other kind of people who sort of got sucked into the negativity of living in and blaming circumstances, outside circumstances, for their misery. So there are people who did amazing in this pandemic, who earned a lot of money, who through ethical means, of course, and became successful, live a happy life. And there are people who just got into the negativity. So we always have a choice, depends on what you choose. So if you choose happiness, you will get solutions. And a lot of people are living in their head. Thoughts about past, thoughts about future, thoughts about regrets, all these things in the past, living in the past or living in the future of anxiety, fear and all. So the idea is to live in the moment and not in your head all the time, in the thoughts. So if you can live in the moment and take this moment as it is, without judging, without resisting it, and that's where you have your first step towards happiness. So live in the moment and not in your thoughts. Thoughts are like you're on a railway platform and the trains are coming and going, you're observing. Your thoughts are like that, it will come go. You just be an observer and not be in the head all the time, that monkey mind that we have.
Very good advice. Thank you. Yes, it is always a choice. And I love what I heard recently as well, that while the pain is very real, you can't separate yourself from that. While the pain is very real, so is the hope.
Hope.
So yes. And every single moment that you act, you have the opportunity of making things better and better, or then staying ruminating in your head and staying in that at the bottom of the well. So yes, thank you for that. Yeah. Tell me, This is a very obvious leading question, but still, tell me, how important really is this? I mean, when you're struggling for oxygen in the lungs, and you're struggling for a penny in the pocket, and you're struggling for, will I have the next meal on the table, which many people unfortunately are. How important is it for them to focus on saying, no, let me make my happiness a priority?
Yeah, absolutely. At this time, it is tough. When you actually have to think about the next meal, that is definitely difficult to be positive. So the thing is, you still have to accept the fact. A lot of people, they don't accept what is going on in their life, resisting it, pushing it away. No, I don't want this. I don't want that, judging, resisting. So what you resist persist in your life. It comes more, it stays there. So instead of resisting or pushing away all these bad negative circumstances in your life, accept it. Fine, this is it, I'm facing this is the situation now, what is the solution? Have solution focused approach. What can I do? You can do something, right? You can be active, you can do something about, instead of focusing on the problem, focus on solution. What you focus on grows in your life. You focus on problem will come, another problem will come, another problem will come. But if you focus on solution, that's what you will get. So yes, shift your focus, accept and shift your focus is what you can do, even in very bad circumstances.
Yeah, the beautiful saying which goes that if you're not part of the solution, then you're a part of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you. We need to be reminded of all these things. We need to peg them in. Thank you. Here's another big issue. I mean, again, the answer is very evident, but need to hear it from somebody like you and spelled out very well. A lot of people hold other people responsible for their own happiness and claim to be unhappy because you did not do this and you are not like this and my wife is like that and my child did that and the world is out to get me and so is a traitor and so on and so forth. Who is in charge of your own happiness? Is it everybody else?
Absolutely no. Everybody knows this, but we need to remind people, right? Yeah, of course, the outer forces, outer circumstances, a lot of people blame this, but one need to understand that you have control over only your energy. You cannot control others' energy. As we know, we are living in this universe. Everything, even human body is energy. And you have 100% control over your energy and not others' energy. So you can't change people, you can't change circumstances that is coming to you, but you can change your energy. You have the power in you to take control of your life, to take control of your circumstances, and then go forward. Of course, a lot of people blame others, blame Corona for their miseries, blame environment, government policies, this and that. But no, you still have an option. You still have a choice to make, a decision to make. The choice is yours. The control is in your hands. Totally. Your life, you have the power, the force inside you.
Yeah, and happiness is eventually only an inside job.
Inside job, absolutely.
So, Shilpa, could you point out some of the more known and even more importantly, some of the unknown enemies of happiness?
Yeah, a lot of them. Enemies of happiness are, number one, procrastination, inconsistencies, indiscipline, doubts, fears in your own self, not in others, in your own self. You yourself are in the way of your happiness, right? The fears, doubts, low confidence, low self-esteem, all these are the enemies of happiness. And you need to beat the enemy on daily basis because it will keep coming.
Yeah, and I like that you pointed these out because these, though they kind of swim along with us all the while, we're not that aware of them and we don't just snap out of it because we realize what they are all about. We just kind of let them hang along with us like dead skin without being too conscious of it. So, yeah. There are many negative, toxic people around the place, and have always been. Luckily, more recently, in the last, I'd say, 10, 15 years, they've been more and more pulled out, picked out, more and more documented, more and more highlighted. Thank God. However, that aside, so you know that they can't really get away with their ways to the extent that they could earlier, because there's a lot more awareness now and a lot more support for people who have to put up with this sort of whatever you may call it, you know, the hideous side of human nature, let's just put it mildly. However, now in these pandemic times, it has gotten so much worse. People are now trapped indoors with their with the perpetrator, you know, with their abuser, and they are in a worse mood, they are more frustrated, they're more angry, their self-esteem is at an all-time low, the alcohol abuse, the drug abuse, etc. is that much higher, and the trauma for these sort of people is that much more. Is there anything you'd like to say on that? And obviously there's an end to the happiness. So what would you like to say on that?
Yeah, so the toxic people around you is what you mean, and how they have impact on people's life. I get this question every day. So I have my community. I run 5 a.m. programs where people wake up and come, and we work on ourselves, our inner being. So this is the question that keeps on coming, that Shilpa,
We're just supposed to show how the numbers are shooting and how many it's affecting and how many are desperate for the help.
Absolutely. So this is the question I get, that Shilpa, I am trying to be positive. Fine, I understand positivity and all this, but what about people around me? If my family only is negative, or have negative members around me, they impact me in certain way. What can I do? And my only answer, and it will always be the same answer, is you will get negative people around them. You cannot change them. People, you cannot change them, but you can change yourself. Focus on yourself, focus on your growth, make your growth your priority, become a better version of yourself every day. So today, this is the person, tomorrow you should be a little better, day after tomorrow you should be better, and make yourself your priority. When you grow, two things will happen. All these people will try to match your frequency, they will come to your level, or they will fall off from your energy field automatically. You focus on yourself, and that's the only way to deal with negative people. You cannot change them.
And certainly you can reduce your interaction with them and move out of the arena. Even if it's a close family member, once you zone out and shut down, and like you said, the vibe doesn't match, automatically it's a kind of a fettering of things, right?
Yeah, things will fall in place once you become your better version and focus on your growth, self-development, have discipline, consistency, and achieve your goals.
Sometimes that ends up being a downside, that sometimes ends up being a negativity, because toxic people will latch onto that and take advantage of that as well. So there's quite often a careful balance to be maintained out there. So,
Right.
yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you, what are some of the empowering questions that we can ask ourselves, or habits, or tasks, really, to ensure our own daily happiness? Just like a thing to do, something which helps me.
Yeah, a lot of things you can do actually every day. Ask yourself, what am I doing today to become a better version of myself? What good habit I have adopted today, or I can practice today, that can help me in longer run? So it can be anything. It can be waking up early, sleeping early. It can be eating healthy. It can be exercising. It can be reading. It can be so it can be having like drinking water, like enough water in a day. a lot of things that you can do to actually live a balanced life, and good habits that you can inculcate. You can meditate, be in silence, be with your own thoughts, and journaling. A lot of things you can do everyday basis to increase that happiness quotient and to live a disciplined life. So a lot of people are running after motivation. They don't need motivation, they need to live a disciplined life. Once they are in a discipline, they will be able to create that motivational environment around them, and that will help them to reach for towards their goal, to achieve their desires, their passions, or whatever. So create discipline and inculcate good habits every day.
Thank you.
Install good habits. How
Yes,
we
thank
install
you.
apps.
Absolutely, yes. By the way, a lot of people have been coming in, and I want to say a quick hello to all the people I'm seeing right now, from Ritika to Babita, Dylan, Ronald, and just different people I've seen coming in over a period of time. Aryan, Yogita, Anjum, I saw Winnie coming in, Aparna, hi. Rajat, Kiara, I saw Neeti coming in earlier, Carl, Neil, hi to everyone. I'm seeing all you guys. Love having you here with us, and I'm glad you're listening up. Shilpa has some fabulous tips and advice for us, and I think this really is the number one topic. We at Body Art work on mind, body, soul, emotional fitness, etc., but none of it is worth it if you're not happy up there eventually. It all boils down to zero. So this really is the A1A topic of importance. Okay, so thank you, Shilpa. I want to ask you that what signs, so okay, we follow this, we do this, and we move forward, etc. And I'm talking of from a place where people are pretty sound, solid. Real troopers have been in the lead as far as head and the shoulders, happiness, etc., and positivity are concerned. However, these times being so challenging for all of us. I mean, you're losing family, you're in hospitals, you don't have ventilators, you're just beggared. You're just like on your knees with what's happening. Even in the most privileged of conditions, you don't have vaccines, you don't have, it's just as bad as it can be. And it does chip away. It does chip away at your happiness quotient. You can't keep smiling away like a Cheshire cat when you have less and less reason to. My question to you is that what are the signs that one should look out for, manifestations of a sort of a mental health issue, so in the direction of happiness, of course, things that could bust that. So whether it's negativity, depression, bitterness, anger, envy, frustration, self-doubt, denial is a big one. Comparison constantly, and we're not even conscious of a lot of these things. Complexes, which we don't want to admit even. What are some of the others? What do you do about this? How do you turn this around?
So, thing is, listen to your heart. How do you feel? The way you feel will give you, this is the sign. Your heart will give you your biggest sign. How are you feeling? People don't want to acknowledge their feelings. They don't want to understand what they are feeling. They don't have time to stop and think what are they feeling. So I think the biggest sign, your heart will tell you how I am feeling this now. That's why I tell people every day to sit with themselves for 5 minutes at least in the morning and understand what's going inside me. Kya chal raha hai andar? And let the thoughts come, let the emotions come, and then you should know how to process those emotions. Fine, all these circumstances, everything will come in your life. But after it happens, how are you processing those emotions? How are you processing your feelings? That is the game changer, and that is how you can have control over your life. These are the signs. So listen to your heart and stop, pause, and understand what is going on inside. That will give you the biggest clue how to take the next step towards it.
you're bang on the button on everything you're saying, and I just want to add to that, that when we do this, there is also very often a sense of guilt. Am I right? Am I wrong? Should I not be feeling this way? There's a sense of a lot of shame as well, often, that, you know, how can I be feeling this way when this is what's going on outside? And how can I be so petty and so self-centered? There's a loss of self-confidence to just acknowledge that my feelings are real and they're very valid and they're not to be rubbished. A lot of lack of faith in oneself, which also seeps in and creeps in. And I would just like to say and add that, hey, if you are feeling it, it is 100% true. Do not question that. It is completely your reality, and it is as evident as the sky is blue or the sun is hot.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So I would say, if you are feeling something like this, write down your feelings. You know, you can journal, because it has to have some outlet. It needs to come out. Whatever you're feeling in that moment, write it down, be with your thoughts and take it out. Even if that means crying. Crying is a natural way. It's a biological process of releasing your emotions. So take it out instead of, you know, getting into negativity, lashing out on someone, getting angry. Just your emotions, feel it, write it down, take it out, just and then you'll feel much lighter. And when you feel lighter, better solutions comes to you, better situations, circumstances, opportunities comes to you. So yeah, very, very, very important to acknowledge your feelings, releasing it, and then finding a solution.
Yeah, I found that to be very useful, particularly in times of my life when I'm going through a difficult period. To journal makes me validate myself with the date. So I know that, no, this is not a one-off. It's happened so many times. And I think under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress, maybe it's a defense mechanism, but we do tend to forget quite a few important things. And it's important not to. It's important to revisit it and say, no, this is a pattern. This has been happening over and over again. Here it is documented. I'm not imagining it. So,
very, very
yeah.
important.
Yeah, so thank you for that. What about we touched on this earlier, but my question is a little different. What about people who have a lot of negative people, a lot of toxic, difficult personalities that they're trapped indoors with, and trying to be their best person, you know, more and more advantage is taken of them, in fact, and they realize, hey, I need to be a little bit of a badass if I need to protect myself. Actually, it's not working in my best interest. So the whole notion, the whole sense that, okay, no, you're not allowed to talk about this. You're not allowed to point this out. You're not allowed to call out the abuser. You're not allowed to identify what they truly are. It's taboo. It's as if you are betraying, you know, your friend or your family or your whatever. Not accepted, like sharam ki baat hai, in our Indianness of saying, izzat ki baat hai. And therefore the abuser gets a nice, clean, quiet platform to perform without having to worry about their image. There's a lot of that happens. There's a lot of that happens. What advice for these people? And of course, I suffice it to say that, I mean, they're as far away from happiness as possibly can be. So what advice do you have for these sort of people?
People who are surrounded with such abusing people and they can't express and they are being shunned down. First of all, we need to speak up. Learn to speak up and express yourself instead of tolerating the nonsense. You need to have boundaries. Somebody cannot, anyone, it can be anyone, your close family members or not so close, they have to respect your boundary, and they cannot abuse you. Abusing is just not tolerated. just not. You have to make it very clear and stand up for yourself. If nobody is there to protect you, you are there. Protect yourself, and make boundaries. And this is not tolerated, not acceptable. And talk to that person. If you, whenever you are in calm mind, in some cool, you both are in that same mindset and you're cool down, then talk it out, express and have conversation that how this is not done, and it is not, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I think expressing is important. What do you think, Nawaz, in this?
While I agree with you, I also know that a lot of abusers um, cannot bear intimacy because they will get caught out. They will be matted. They will be made accountable, and they will never allow that situation. Instead, I'll blow up into a temper tantrum, or I'll accuse you back, or I will just, spin things around in a completely different spin. I'll put 10 other things which have no relevance to this conversation. So that's actually a huge reality as well. And if we stop at this point, then we're not doing it justice. We're not going forward into the real depths of the woods, I should say.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right that a mirror needs to be put up in front of them. Boundaries need to be maintained, and what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I do totally agree. And then there are situations where you find that, hey, when there's nothing I can do about it, because there's nothing technically that can be done about it, I don't take it personally, and I learn to cut the limb to save the life.
Right. So,
I learn where you end and where I begin.
Right, absolutely. This is amazing. That cutting the boundaries and learning from this, whatever is the situation, learning from it and then taking your next step forward is a great thing.
Yeah. I also, now moving away from this, coming back to happiness in terms of how do people really manifest the life that they want?
All right, that's a lovely question. So first of all, you need to have clarity of what you want in life. What are your desires? What is it? Are you satisfied? You're content with whatever you have? Fine, you're good too. If you have desires, if you have some passion, any goals that you have, first you need to have clarity. What is it that I want? Once you know, and you know the priority, this is first, second, third, three things, these are my priority, and now I need to work on that, because you can only manifest when you take inspired actions on it. It just doesn't come like sitting and thinking about it, right? And what are the action steps that you need to take, that you have to follow, and working on your energy. I'm firm believer of energy, good energy, positivity, and aligning your energy towards actions to achieve your desires is how you can manifest a good life.
Yes. Once you have your goals in place, then?
Yeah, once you get the clarity, you have your goals in place, then take actionable small steps. Like instead of seeing the whole goal as a like big goal,
break it down into small pieces. Yeah.
Specific small things. And for that you need to have, again, discipline. Everything comes down to discipline in your life. What discipline? Good habits that you are creating to achieve your desires. So so create that discipline in your life. Break it into small goals and take actionable steps, small things, because anything small that you achieve, it creates that happiness in you, that yes, I have achieved this today, I did that. So we need that sense of achievement every day. So do the small thing towards your goal. So for example, if it is health, you want to lose weight 10 kgs, that's your goal. You want to manifest a good health, a good body. What is it that you will do today? Maybe today I'll cut down, I will not have sweet today. I'll cut down on sugar. I'll cut down on salt today, tomorrow. So these are the small steps you can take every day towards your, today I'll exercise for 30 minutes. I'll do
Yeah,
this.
you come and join us. You join us at Body Art and work out with us online.
You know
Yeah.
this better, right?
Right. So, yeah, thank you. Tell us a little bit, because I know you do a lot of work in this space. Tell us a little bit about the law of attraction.
Okay, that's my favorite field. Law of attraction is what I love to teach. And law of attraction just says wherever you focus your attention on, that's what you get in your life. You focus on negativity, you focus on sadness, depression, anger, fears, guilt, all these things you focus on, that's what you will attract more of it in your life. You focus on positivity, you focus on growth, fun, happiness, learning, development, that's what you get more in your life. So wherever you focus, your energy flows towards that, and that's what you get more of it in your life. And so my whole work revolves around helping people focus in the right direction so they attract more of it from universe, because as I said, everything is energy. You, me, this mobile phone, this water bottle, everything is made up of something in this universe, and it is energy. So we can work on our energies and attract right people, right situations, right opportunities in our life. So when you work on your inner self, on your thought level, on your subconscious level, then only you can attract better things from universe, better people, better opportunities. So yes, everything boils down to working on yourself on the thought level. We create our reality with our thoughts. Every single thought is creating our reality. So now imagine in 40,000 thoughts that you are thinking in a day, how much is negative thought, how many are negative thoughts and how many are positive, and you will understand how your life is just doing this calculation.
Yeah, yeah, true. And we let the thoughts come and go unguarded.
Unguarded, yeah.
We don't really focus on the quality of our thoughts. We let them go unchecked, as if they were a garbage, as if our mind were a garbage bin, which it's so totally not. We need to be so careful about the quality of thoughts that we allow in, because thoughts lead to words, and words lead to actions, and actions lead to our whole entire reality. So it's just as important as it could possibly, frankly, ever get.
Absolutely. It starts at the thought level.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
Yeah, your audience is very appreciative of the fabulous advice you're giving us, as am I. And this is going to be loaded up on our social media handles, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. So would so strongly suggest that you guys revisit it, as I am going to for sure, because Shilpa has very casually put out some fabulous gems out there, which need a lot of credence and focus. So yeah, any last thoughts or last bits of advice that you might have for us, Shilpa?
Absolutely. One thing I would like to tell everyone is, guys, work on your thoughts, work on yourself, invest in yourself. You are your, or you should be your own priority. First, fill your cup. Until and unless you fill yourself with, growth, learning, development, self-love, or you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give more to others when, if your cup is empty. So fill yourself, invest in yourself, invest in your mindset. How I can better my mindset, how I can take control over thoughts. There are people out there who can help you. I am there. I help people manifest their desires by working on their thoughts and living a beautiful, incredible life. So yes, invest in yourself is what I would say to everyone, because you are your best friend. You have to live with yourself forever.
Yeah, that's very poignant advice, and that also has many of us needing to kind of, how should I say, relearn the Indianness of, okay, everybody comes first, and my family comes first, my whatever, my in-laws come first, my husband comes first, my children come first, my parents come first, and I come completely last. I'm totally at the bottom of the food chain. This has to change. We have seen the very, very traumatic, sad outcome of this sort of thinking when you put yourself last and then so does everybody else, and then you're very bitter about it.
Yeah,
So,
because
yeah,
they treat you the way you treat yourself. You are treating
correct.
yourself, so people will also treat you like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said. Thank you so much, Shilpa. We are going to simple truths, very strong truths, very powerful, and we need to just sit down and listen to that again, make note, and yeah, keep that. Once you know what's black and white, keep that in its firm space and move accordingly. Thank you very much, Shilpa. Would you kindly share your social media handles, your website ID, etc., for any of our listeners who may be interested in approaching you separately for your guidance?
Thank you. That's so kind of you. Yeah, so people can reach me if you are interested to work on yourself, to make yourself a better version of yourself. You can reach out to me at www.lifecoachshilpa.com, or you can follow Rise and Shine Manifestation Club. That's my club. I have a beautiful community of people where we come together at 5 a.m. in the morning and work on our desires and manifest our dream life.
Fabulous. Thank you so very much. This was a huge pleasure. And yeah, stay well,
Thank you
take
so
care,
much, Nawaz.
and
You are doing a
happiness
great job.
always to you guys,
Yeah, yeah.
all you guys. See you then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Lots of love.